Okay, trying this again. Apologize again for the post-commentary at the beginning of all this. But hello, welcome. My name is Akira Matsuo. My goal with this channel is purely for experimental sake and to attempt to get a accurate representation of basically my overall editing skill level and kind of try to increase that. I wish to take the skills that I have just recently learned, more or less. No proper background or anything of the sort with any of this, but I intend on taking the little skill that I have and attempting to improve upon it, both video editing wise and audio editing wise. This first game that I'm deciding to venture out with that, I started off playing it more over or less as a joke. I got way more serious than I intended to, as I do with most games, towards the end of the playthrough. And the reason for the post-commentary on these first couple of episodes, yes, the first two will have post-com, unfortunately, is because of my own stupidity in not realizing that it was not recording my audio personally whenever I first started out.
Wake up, friend. We were about giving up on the ghost there, didn't we? Fancy another rant?
What can I tell you about myself? For me, I am 27 years old, currently living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. That's the most that you'll get out of me on that, probably. Yes, I have some forms of social media, though I don't use them. I'm definitely an outlier in that situation, where I don't necessarily end up following suit with most of my generation. I apologize if I tend to get quiet in a couple of spots here during this post commentary. I'm trying to hopefully keep it to where I don't overlap with the actual gameplay. I do want a proper gameplay scenario so that you can see everything. I also initially forgot to turn on subtitles, and I know that at some point I go into the options and I do fix that. But yes, I started this playthrough off way more happy and excited than I did by the time I got to the end of it. As an overall theme for me with games, I tend to get just a tad carried away, and that's just kind of how it is. In terms of these post-coms, this is something that I'm honestly trying so that I could get these out and not have to literally re-record the first couple episodes and try to get exactly where I was. Not that I don't feel like I could do it, I just don't really feel like it. I don't feel like playing back through the game at this point. Those of you that might be astute will also notice that I am pausing here and there. And if you listen real close, you might hear me taking a sip of something. I am drinking some tea. No particular preference between tea, coffee, water, whatever. I'm sure throughout me streaming and recording, you will see me have anywhere from a can of soda in my hand, soda pop, Coke, whatever you would like to call it. Whatever your local word is for soda pop, a carbonated beverage. That's mostly what I feel like I end up drinking. I try my best at times, and so you'll see this where I might have a bottle of water, or I might have a giant jug of water or whatever sometimes, and other times I'll drink some tea. But yes, I decided to start off with the Order 1886. One, because it was a game in which I had been wanting to play for some time. But it's also a game in which I personally hadn't played, and I knew, while it does have somewhat of a following now, it started off on the PlayStation pretty rough, from what I remember. And so there's certain things that kind of go hand in hand with that. But yeah, overall, I think that things are going pretty well in terms of recording stuff. I've gone through this, and I've started to record at this time another series. And I'm still trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to do for my whole schedule for things, because I am very much not in sync with any of that. As of recording this, I'm recording this post-commentary probably a good month or so after actually playing the footage you're seeing. So there's that as well. The post commentary with this, I don't know. I could sit here and try to remember some of the stuff that I was even saying, and I don't know that I could probably tell you. I know that the overall and underlying storyline of this game intrigued me from the get-go, and then I got more and more into it, and it didn't seem like it was trying to take it anywhere, and that's my biggest letdown as at the forefront of everything for this. I may attempt to do like a little clip show thing at some point or another and do a proper, hey, here's my review of the game. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't fully worked out what I intend to do for this entire channel. I haven't. And a big portion of that goes to the fact that I'm doing this for fun more than anything. I'm not doing this to try to become famous. I don't want the fortune. I don't want to quit my day job or anything like that. I'm not looking to supplement anything of that nature. If anything, I wouldn't mind making this a side project that, if it happens to become profitable, all the better. If I do make this a side project, I think that would be an amazing thing if I can get it up off the ground properly and everything and have it be a proper side project for the time being. But I'm happy enough. I have a proper daytime job. It works for me. And I mean, I know that's very atypical of, people that try to get onto YouTube and put up videos, and people that stream in general. That's just kind of how I've always been, though. I've always been very atypical. I've always wanted to stream. I've always wanted to put stuff up on YouTube and everything. And I've wanted to do it to get a nice, cool community of people that like discussing stuff. But it's... I don't know. It's nothing that's ever been like, yeah, let's do this for a living type of a thing. But in terms of my plans for content on the channel, you'll see a lot of gaming. I'm a gamer, plain and simple, through and through. The games I play are random off the wall. It's not going to be anything super popular at the time, at least. It might be, stuff that was popular years ago or whatever. Or it might be stuff that, might be starting to get popular. I have plans that I want to play games that, are coming out and stuff that are popular, and I have plans to try to do some of that. it's just tough. That's all. Not that I don't have the time. I have plenty of time to do so, for sure. I just, I get interested in specific games at specific times, and that's pretty much that. And while I want to play new games, if I did that, I fall into this terrible, terrible habit where I will start playing games, play very much a part of the way through. I wouldn't even give a percentage because it's less than half, maybe sometimes even less than a tenth of the way through the game. And then all of a sudden I just quit and move on to a different game and start playing that whole bunch for like half of the game or whatever. And that's part of the other reason why I want to do this stuff with the channel here on YouTube as well as over on Twitch. For now, I might migrate that to YouTube. We will see. There's a whole slew of things that I'm trying to figure out between the whole scheduling of everything. But I wouldn't mind attempting to be able to play through some of the games that I've never gotten to play through or always wanted to play and never could. I've had a ton of games that are just kind of backlogged for me at this point, and they're cross generations, cross systems. I'm not a video game collector per se, but I definitely believe in being on the original media that it was produced on. So a lot of the older titles that you see on here, it's not really going to be emulators or anything. It's going to be me struggling to work with the capture card and cables and crap to get an old Nintendo 64 working or an old Nintendo working or whatever. It's going to be a lot more involved in that regard than, let me just pull up an emulator because that's the quick and easy thing to do. There's something that I like about the real tactile feel of dealing with the glitches and the original format of everything. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of the different types of content. I might eventually get into some music, some covers and originals and such, but I don't know if I'm going to do that per se. I know that music as a whole is just a big, big nightmare at times.
Give yourself up, monsieur. My next shot will not be a warning.
So, like I said, I will attempt as we're going through this. I'll try to stay quiet during some of the parts where it's actually talking if I can help it. The stuff that I've been saying so far, I'm sure I will see it and it'll probably get cut up into different sections or whatever. And that's purely so that the gameplay can actually shine. I don't want to overshadow the gameplay in any way, shape, or form if I can help it.
Hands where I can see them! The player's over, Galahad. Surrender yourself! Raise your hands, now! Raise your hands! Hands up! Gray?
Don't do this!
I said surrender! Hands on your head! You have betrayed our order! No one may escape the penalty! You forget, Lord Chancellor. I'm as good as dead already.
Galahad!
Galahad, come in. Galahad, acknowledge. This is command.
I read you, Percival.
Enjoying a stroll in the park, are we?
Nothing quite like a chilly London morning to stimulate the senses.
Not to interrupt your little constitutional, but we have confirmation of multiple marks at Grosvenor Square.
What are our directives?
Rendezvous at the United India House with Igraine and Lafayette and contain the threat. Do you have it in sight?
Right in front of me.
Good. Assess the situation once there and proceed with caution. Did Nicola provide you with armament?
Yes. Essex M2 Falchion.
Good. The Falchion's secondary ordnance should help. We may be pursuing Bedlamites, but they remain civilians. Use non-lethal force whenever possible.
Understood. Are you joining us?
I have a small matter to attend to. I'll find you afterwards.
En route now. Got it out.
But, yeah, this is going to be a very, very big exercise for me in expanding skill sets that I've never really gotten to explore. Video and audio editing, you know, I know of, and I've seen the results, obviously. I've grown up in the age where, you know, YouTube and all that is a huge popular medium. But the other big thing for me is just I want to do it myself. I want to learn it. I want to say that I did this. I made this. You know, took this one form of art that is a video game, and it's brilliantly made and produced and put together and everything. And I've taken it with my own audio and I've mixed it to make it, you know, my own thing. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to get super crazy into, you know, edits and whatnot and whatnot. Eventually I might try to get into some of that, depending on what I'm playing and everything. We'll see. But for the most part, there's a very, very big part of things that's just going to be very simple, cut, dry edits. Again, I'm simply just learning. That's all it is. I'm hoping that in doing this, and if I can keep myself motivated to do this, as always is a struggle with pretty much anything for anybody, I think. It is finding the motivation to actually go and do so. But I'm hoping that I enjoy this enough that I'll continue to do so and continue recording stuff and playing different games and getting through them. And then, like I said, ideally, I think schedule-wise, I'm looking to have a set schedule for different days of the week, basically, for different things. That's something I could say. A little bit about myself. Besides being 27 years old, living within the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. So, you know, living in Central Time and whatnot. So anything that I report, I should hopefully specify it's Central Time. But in case I don't, I'm putting this out there, Central Time. As far as tea goes for right now, as I've mentioned, I'm drinking tea. I am currently drinking some of Harney & Sons green hot cinnamon spice, and I've made it just a tad strong. Whew. The bite that this tea has right now for me because of how I made it. It's good. I enjoy it. It just, man, I keep drinking at it and I'm just like, oh, wow, I made this strong.
Galahad, you're Gray. Any word from Lafayette?
Negative.
Same here. He's probably off somewhere gallivanting. Being, well, himself.
I know your concerns, but trust me, he's a good lad.
Did you say so? In any case, I have no time to look for him. I'm assigning the last few constables to their posts.
But yeah, I think that hopefully my taste in video games does not annoy some people. I definitely can be super sporadic in terms of everything that I like to play. Anywhere from action adventure stuff to simple, you know, third-person shooter, first-person shooters, mystery, intrigue, story-based, open world, RPG, JRPG. I don't know. I play a lot of different genres. I don't tend to get into fighting games, but I have in the past. I don't tend to get into racing games, but have in the past. I'm pretty well rounded in the world and versus of gaming.
Quickly.
Skill, love.
I must admit, you do move fast for a man of your age.
A knight cares to be reminded of his decrepitude by a fair damsel.
My lord, this damsel would never be so callous as to do such a thing.
Sure is he. Would you ever? Who are the marks?
Bedlamites running amok. Percival thinks it could be a rebel subterfuge. Let's hope you haven't lost your edge.
Remember who trained you?
He was the best. In his day.
Was.
You're still pretty good. But I'm better.
But yeah, I will say it, by all means, you know, like, comments down below. I don't know that there's a subscribe button on, you know, I honestly haven't looked very much into YouTube in terms of, like, just starting out, but heck, if there's a subscribe button there, hit it. Hit the little bell icon if you want, I don't care. The first few uploads are probably going to be faster than once I get into the swing of things, because again, I have a lot of this stuff already recorded at this point. If I can keep myself ahead of that, that would be great, but I don't think that's going to happen. I do think I will out-edit myself and get to the point where I'm caught up and have to kind of slow it down for uploads. I am not committing to any sort of schedule, at least not yet, as far as an upload schedule.
Do you mean a strong man to take control of things?
That's right.
Just stay out of our way. I'd hate for you to get shot by mistake.
Trouble?
The usual trigger-happy mercenaries.
The United India Company prefers its minions enthusiastic.
The last thing we need is a band of hired guns causing more havoc. I've told them to remain on lockdown. Galahad, take cover! Let's get to work.
Target down!
We finally kind of get to a spot in the game where we actually start getting into, like, the shooting of everything, and me being used to how shooters work and whatnot, I know what to do, I know where to go with stuff. The shooting controls in this game they're decent. They're not the tightest that I have seen, they're not the worst that I've seen by far. The overall way that the gameplay works, it teaches you everything in little bits and pieces, which isn't bad, and I didn't mind that for learning it. This very much was a cover-based shooter, though. It was very much get behind cover, you know, pop out, kill a person or two, pop back behind the cover, make sure you're still good for ammunition, keep an eye around the surroundings. It was very much that kind of a game. And I'll be fair, you know, I think that this is for a first series in total. This is definitely going to be a very raw edit type of a series. I'm definitely going to keep all my deaths in and everything. You're going to see me die quite a bit on several different parts. Both because of my own stupidity and both because, you know, I just chose to do certain things a certain way. I'm sure that there was a better way or is a better way, and in a couple of cases later on, as you will see, I definitely learned that there were some better ways of doing things and had to kind of adapt on my feet for those. And I think I did a decent enough job on it, in all honesty. I know that the game includes a couple of tutorials on a couple of different mechanics, of which I personally never used throughout the entire game. Both because I kind of forgot that they were there, but two, even if I had decided to use them, I don't know what type of a situation I should have used them on. In hindsight, I suppose there are the couple of areas that I struggled with more that I could have used that in, and for whatever reason or another decided not to. Mostly because of my own stupidity, because, you know, this guy that you're looking at in the little camera here, that is me, staring blankly over at his screen, occasionally looking over at his camera to look at you guys. This guy here that you're staring at decided to be an idiot sometimes throughout this game, and a good many times for that it was not planned for him being stupid. It was him just being stupid for the sake of being stupid, or him being stupid without him even realizing it, as I do. Certain gaming logic things as well. I don't know. I try my best to keep up with the style of gaming that I like, especially within shooters. And that style tends to be, you know, I don't mind sticking a little further away or whatever, and doing stuff that way. Oh, Izzy. Alright. So yeah, I don't really know what to make of things, and in terms of kind of how we're going to choose to do things in terms of the post-commentary on these first two episodes. How I'm going to... I don't know why I said we. But yeah, I don't know exactly how I'm going to choose to do this. I think it'll end up being kind of cut between the two of them as the best that I can, and just leaving in the audio from there. Again, it's kind of negligible. I don't know exactly how far this audio will take me. I'll probably record some extra just because I can be silly at times. I'm definitely a lot more silly around my wife. She and I, whenever we play games, will probably take it less seriously than I do personally by myself. I take games super seriously. As serious as I possibly can with, you know, reason. I mean, I recognize it's a game and whatnot. I'm a relatively calm person. I don't tend to have breakdowns. Yes, I'm subject to raging at a game like anybody else. I'm subject to you know, the Dark Souls style, you die so many times and it just gets so depressing on yourself of just, I keep just trying to butt my head up against an iron wall here, and sometimes taking a step back is the best thing for that, which is a difficult thing to do whenever you're trying to sit and record and get through as much content as you can. I do think that we're finally approaching the end of the first episode here, so I will go ahead and say it now. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I apologize again for the post-commentary with this and the next episode, and I do appreciate you if you decide to hit that subscribe or follow button, whatever it might be. Hit the little bell icon to be notified whenever there's another episode that goes live. Again, it'll be faster in the start since I have quite a few done and recorded. But again, thank you, and I appreciate it. I will see you all next time.